The stars had always called to humans. For hundreds of years, they looked up and asked, "Are we alone?" In the year 2157, they got their answer. It was a normal Tuesday morning when the sky changed. A ship larger than any human-made object broke through the clouds above New York. News spread fast. Panic hit some cities, while wonder filled others. The giant ship hovered silently, its dark metal surface reflecting sunlight in strange patterns. 3 days passed before the aliens sent their message. It came to every TV, radio, and phone at once. "We are the Galactic Conclave. We come in peace." The world leaders picked Peter Kelly to speak for Earth. Kelly was a calm man from a small town in Nebraska who had worked solving problems between countries for 20 years. "I'm just a simple man," he told the president, "but I'll do my best." Kelly and his small team met the aliens on their ship. His hand shook as he stepped into the strange room with its 2 tall ceilings and odd-smelling air. The team included Olivia Grant, a smart scientist with quick eyes, and Alan Murphy, a strong military man who kept his hand near his gun. "Welcome," said a voice that seemed to come from everywhere. A tall creature stepped forward. It looked like a mix between a mantis and a spider, standing on 4 legs with arms that branched into smaller fingers. Its eyes, all 6 of them, blinked with different colors. "I am Survex, High Arbitrator of the Conclave," it said through a small machine that hung around its neck. "We represent 17 species who live together in peace among the stars." Kelly nodded, trying to hide his surprise. "We are honored to meet you. I'm Peter Kelly, speaking for Earth." Survex's head tilted. "We have watched your people for many years. You have grown quickly from simple tools to space travel. This is rare. We invite you to join our community." Over the next few days, Kelly and his team met representatives from each alien species. Some looked almost human with 2 arms and legs. Others were so strange that Kelly couldn't tell their front from their back. They all shared one thing. They seemed nervous around humans. When Kelly talked about Earth ships meeting alien ships for trade, a group of blue-skinned aliens whispered to each other with worried looks. When Murphy asked about weapons, a small furry alien dropped its drink. "Have we done something wrong?" Kelly asked Survex one evening. The tall alien's eyes blinked yellow, then green. "No, you are simply different. Most species take thousands of years to reach the stars. You did it in less than 100. That night, Kelly couldn't sleep. He walked the big hallways of the alien station where they now stayed. He found Grant looking at star maps in a quiet room. "They're scared of us," she said without looking up. "I can feel it." "But why?" Kelly asked. "We're new to space. We have no power here." Grant turned to him, her face serious in the blue light of the alien screens. "I think that's what scares them. They don't know what we might become." A week later, the Conclave invited Earth to join them formally. There would be rules, they said. Limits, for the good of all. Kelly smiled and accepted the papers. But a small worry grew in his mind. The aliens watched him too closely, as if waiting for him to make a mistake. Something wasn't right here. And he was going to find out what. 3 months passed. Kelly and his team learned the alien ways. They ate strange foods, studied star maps, and talked for hours with the Conclave members. But something didn't feel right. One morning, Survex called them to the big meeting room. The walls glowed with soft light, and all 17 alien leaders sat in a half-circle. Kelly felt small as he walked to the center with Grant and Murphy beside him. "We have prepared the joining terms for Earth," said Survex, passing Kelly a flat screen with glowing words. Kelly read slowly, his face growing darker with each line. When he finished, he looked up with a frown. "Is something wrong?" asked a small gray alien with 4 arms. "These rules seem very strict," Kelly said carefully. "You say we can only have 5 colony planets." Survex's eyes blinked purple. 5 is generous for a new species. Murphy leaned close to Kelly. "They want to control our ships too. All our space guns would answer to them, not us. Kelly nodded. And it says here all our new inventions must be checked by your science authority first. A fish-like alien with shimmering scales spoke up. It is for safety. New technologies can be dangerous. After the meeting, Kelly and his team went back to their rooms. The doors closed with a soft hiss behind them. Only then did Kelly slam his hand on the table. "This isn't fair," he said. "They don't want partners. They want pets." Grant sat at her computer, typing fast. For weeks, she had been studying the conclave records they were allowed to see. "Look at this," she said, turning the screen. The others gathered around. Grant had made a chart comparing all the conclave species. "See this line? It shows how fast each species changes and grows," she explained. "Most of these aliens take hundreds of years to make new things or change their ways. But humans," she pointed to a line that climbed much higher than the others, "we change and adapt 8 times faster than any of them. That's why they're scared," Murphy said, understanding now. "We're too quick for them." Kelly walked to the window. Outside, strange ships moved between the stars. "They want to put us in a box because they're afraid of what we might become." That night, Kelly couldn't sleep. He thought of Earth's history, how humans had always pushed forward, climbed higher, reached farther. The conclave wanted to take that away. The next morning, Kelly asked for a private meeting with Cervex. "These terms won't work for us," Kelly said simply. "We need more freedom." Cervex's body went very still. "The terms are standard." "Then change the standard," Kelly said. "Humans need room to grow." Cervex's eyes all blinked at once. "I will discuss this with the Council. But I must warn you, no species has ever asked for better terms." As Cervex left, Kelly didn't know that his simple request would shake the whole conclave. The aliens had never met anyone who questioned their rules. They didn't know what to do with humans who wouldn't stay in their place. 6 months passed. The talks moved slowly. The conclave agreed to let humans have 6 colony worlds instead of 5, but kept most other rules the same. Then something happened that changed everything. A human ship called the Liberty Dawn was carrying food and tools to a new science base. Captain Samantha Rogers liked her quiet job. She was tall with short red hair and always wore her lucky blue cap. As the Liberty Dawn moved through space, 3 strange ships appeared on their screens. They were dark and spiky, with red lights glowing along their sides. A rough voice came through the radio. "This is Captain Grek of the Cracks Brotherhood. Stop your ship and prepare to give us half your cargo. This is the normal toll for passing through our space." Rogers frowned. "This is conclave-protected space. There are no tolls here." The voice laughed. "The conclave knows how things work. Pay the toll, or we take everything." Rogers looked at her crew. "Did anyone tell you about space pirates when we joined the conclave talks?" They shook their heads. "Get to battle stations," Rogers ordered. When the pirate ships came close, Rogers did something no one in the galaxy expected. She fought back. The Liberty Dawn was just a cargo ship, but every Earth ship carried weapons after the wars back home. Rogers didn't run. She didn't give up. She fired back. In 20 minutes, 3 pirate ships couldn't fly anymore, and Rogers had captured the 4th. She called the conclave for help bringing in the pirates. 2 days later, Kelly stood before the Conclave Security Council. The room was filled with angry alien faces. Captain Rogers broke all space rules, shouted a blue-skinned alien with a long neck. "No one fights the Cracks." Kelly was confused. "The Cracks are pirates. They attacked our ship." "They are independent operators," said Cervex carefully. "They take reasonable payments and cause no serious harm. It is arranged. You let pirates rob ships." Kelly couldn't believe it. A tall, thin alien with purple skin and no hair stood up. This was Tulpa from the Vorelian people. "Human," he said in a cold voice. "Your kind simply doesn't understand how the galaxy works. Everyone has their place. The cracks take small tolls. Ships pay. No one gets hurt badly. The system works. So you let them steal from everyone? Kelly asked. Tulpa's eyes narrowed. Your species lacks understanding of cosmic balance. You refuse to accept your proper place in the hierarchy. In that moment, Kelly finally understood. The conclave wasn't a group of equals working together. It was a system where everyone stayed in their assigned place. The strong ruled, the weak obeyed, and humans were expected to take their place at the bottom. He looked around the room at the alien faces. Some looked angry, others looked afraid. But all of them seemed to think this system was normal. Kelly stood straighter. On Earth, we don't let bullies win. Not anymore. After the pirate incident, Kelly told Grant and Murphy to dig deeper. Find out what the conclave is really about, he said. They worked in secret. Grant was good with computers. Murphy knew how to get people talking. Together, they searched for answers. One night, Grant called Kelly to her room. A young man with glasses sat beside her. His name was Eric Porter, a data expert who had joined their team a month ago. We found something, Grant said. Her face was pale. On her screen, strange symbols and pictures filled the display. What is it? Asked Kelly. We got into a hidden part of their records, Porter explained. They don't let anyone see this section. Grant pointed to the screen. These are records of dead species, aliens who aren't around anymore. Kelly sat down, feeling cold inside. How many? 47, said Porter quietly. All gone in the last 10,000 years. Grant touched the screen, and pictures of strange creatures appeared. Look at the pattern. Every dead species shares things with humans. They grew fast. They spread to new planets quickly. They made new tools and machines faster than others. What happened to them? Kelly asked. Porter looked nervous. Some had big wars. Some caught strange sicknesses. Some just failed. Grant's eyes met Kelly's. But we found messages between conclave leaders. They planned it all. When a species grew too fast, or didn't follow the rules, the conclave made problems for them. They killed them. Kelly was shocked. Not directly, said Porter. They just made sure those species would fail. While Grant and Porter worked, Murphy had been studying the conclave military. He came to Kelly with his own report. Their ships outnumber ours by thousands, he said. But they're old, their weapons are outdated, and they always use the same battle plans. They haven't fought a real war in over 500 years. Kelly thought about all this as he walked to his next meeting with Cervex. He felt like he was seeing the conclave for the first time. The tall alien was waiting in a quiet room with walls that changed colors slowly. High Arbitrator, Kelly said, I want to ask you something directly. Has the conclave ever helped destroy species that didn't follow your rules? Cervex's eyes blinked many colors at once, a sign of surprise. Then they settled on a deep red. You have been looking where you shouldn't. Is it true? Kelly pressed. Cervex stood very still. The galaxy requires order to survive. Ambassador Kelly, species like yours bring chaos. Your kind changes too fast. You ask too many questions. You break too many rules. So you get rid of us if we don't obey. Kelly felt anger rising in him. We offer you the gift of restraint, said Cervex. We would guide your development, keep you safe. The alternative has never ended well. Kelly walked to the window and looked out at the stars. So we join you and let you control us, or we face problems that you create. It is the way of the galaxy, said Cervex. The system works. It has for millions of years. Kelly turned back to the alien. Maybe it's time for a new system. Found something shocking. Species with human-like traits, adaptability, aggressive expansion, technological innovation, had all either been contained early or had eventually collapsed through engineered crisis. They've been doing this for thousands of years, Porter explained to Kelly. They identify potentially disruptive species and either bring them under control or eliminate them through indirect means. Meanwhile, Colonel Murphy had been quietly evaluating conclave military capabilities. "They outnumber us thousands to one," he reported, "but their tactics are rigid, predictable. They haven't fought a real war in centuries." When Kelly confronted High Arbitrator Xervex with this information, the alien didn't deny it. "The galaxy requires order to survive," Cervex explained. "Species like yours bring chaos. We offer you the gift of restraint, Ambassador Kelly. The alternative has never ended well." Kelly sent a long message to Earth. He told them everything. The Conclave's rules, the hidden records, the dead species. For 3 days, he waited for an answer while the aliens watched him with suspicious eyes. Back on Earth, the world leaders met in the big United Nations building in New York. The room was filled with worried faces. President Laura Wilson stood tall at the front, her gray hair neatly tied back, her blue suit crisp and clean. "We have a choice to make," she said. "Join the conclave under their control or walk away." Some leaders wanted to join. "They have thousands of ships," said one man, hitting the table. "We can't fight them." "But they want to stop us from growing," said another. "No more colonies. No new weapons. All our new ideas must be approved by them first." President Wilson listened to everyone. Then she stood up and looked around the room. "Throughout human history," she said in a clear voice, "we have defined ourselves by what we can become, not by what others tell us we should be. Yes, the conclave is powerful. Yes, they could hurt us. But if we accept their terms, we stop being truly human." The room was quiet. Everyone knew she was right. "We will ask Ambassador Kelly to get better terms," Wilson decided. "And if they refuse, we will withdraw. We will face the stars on our own terms." When Kelly got his new orders, he felt both scared and proud. The next morning, he walked into the conclave meeting room with his head high. 17 alien leaders watched him with their strange eyes. Cervex stood at the center. "Ambassador Kelly," said the tall insect-like alien, "we hope you bring Earth's acceptance of our terms." Kelly took a deep breath. "I'm sorry, but Earth cannot accept these restrictions. We ask for true partnership, not control." The room erupted in shocked sounds. Some aliens clicked and buzzed. Others made high whistling noises. No species had ever rejected the conclave's terms. Tulpa, the purple Virilian, stood up angrily. "You don't understand what you're doing," he warned. "Outside our protection, you will face challenges you cannot imagine." Kelly looked him in the eye. "We would rather face the unknown on our terms than live forever on yours." The room fell silent. Kelly gathered his papers. Grant and Murphy stood up beside him. Together, they turned to leave. Xervex made a strange gurgling sound, their version of clearing a throat. "Wait," the High Arbitrator said. "Perhaps we can adjust the terms. 8 colony worlds instead of 5. Kelly smiled politely. "That's not the point, High Arbitrator. The point is who decides our limits, you or us." He looked around at the aliens. Some seemed afraid, others angry. A few looked interested, maybe even a little impressed. "Humanity thanks you for your invitation," Kelly said formally. "But we must decline. We hope to meet again someday as equals, not as master and servant." With that, the humans walked out of the room. As the door closed behind them, Kelly heard the room explode into alien voices, all talking at once. He didn't know what would happen next, but for the first time since the conclave arrived, the future felt like it belonged to humans again. The human team packed their things. They would leave the conclave station the next morning. That night, as Kelly checked his bags, someone knocked on his door. When he opened it, he found a tall alien with green scales and golden eyes. Kelly recognized her as Ambassador Nira of the Saf people, one of the oldest conclave members. "May I come in?" she asked in a soft voice. Kelly nodded, surprised. No alien had ever visited his private room before. Nera sat down, her long tail curling around the chair legs. "What you did today was brave," she said, "and dangerous." "We just want to choose our own path," Kelly said. Nera leaned closer. "I came to warn you. By leaving the table, you have caught the attention of powers beyond the Conclave." "What powers?" Kelly asked. "Some who see potential in your kind, others who see only threat." Her golden eyes looked sad. "Be careful, human. Watch the shadows between stars." Kelly was confused. "Why warn us if you're part of the Conclave?" Naira's scaled face moved in what might have been a smile. "Because we were like you once. We chose differently." She stood to leave but turned at the door. "Sometimes I wonder what might have happened if we had left the table." After she left, Kelly called Grant and Murphy. But Nera wasn't the only visitor that night. Two other aliens came separately, a small blue creature who couldn't look Kelly in the eye, and a rocky-skinned giant who spoke in rumbling whispers. All brought the same message: be careful. The next morning, the human ship left the station. As they flew home, Murphy worked on plans to protect Earth. He sent messages to all military leaders. "We need better shields," he told them. "More ships, stronger weapons." Grant gathered all the data they had copied from the Conclave computers. She called scientists from around the world. "We need to understand everything about them," she said. "Their technology, their weaknesses, their friends and enemies." When they reached Earth, Kelly met with President Wilson. They sat in the Oval Office, drinking coffee as Kelly explained everything that had happened. "They might try to hurt us," Kelly warned. "The Conclave doesn't like losing control." Wilson nodded. "Then we'll be ready." For 3 months, Earth prepared. New ships were built in space docks. Scientists worked day and night on new shields and weapons, but they kept it all secret, hidden from the Conclave's watching eyes. Then, one day, a Conclave ship appeared in orbit. 3 aliens transported down to the White House lawn. Cervex and 2 others Kelly didn't recognize. "We have come with a final offer," Cervex said. "Join the Conclave under our original terms, or face isolation. No trade with any Conclave world. No help if you find trouble." President Wilson stood before the aliens, calm and strong. She wore a simple blue suit, but she looked more powerful than all the aliens together. "Humanity chooses its own path among the stars," she said, her voice broadcast to every home on Earth. "We wish you well, but we will not be controlled." Cervex's eyes turned a deep, angry red. Without another word, the aliens returned to their ship and left Earth's orbit. The humans were alone now. But for the first time, they were truly free to reach for the stars on their own terms. 5 years passed. Earth changed. Instead of accepting the Conclave's limit of 5 colony worlds, humans had built 11 new homes among the stars. New Horizon was the biggest colony, a green world with 2 moons. Grant lived there now, leading a team of scientists. Some were human. Others were aliens who had left the Conclave, tired of its strict rules. "We've made the engine twice as fast," Grant told Kelly during his visit. She pointed to a shining silver ship in the test field. "The Conclave kept this technology secret for 300 years. They said it was too destabilizing." Kelly smiled. He had gray in his hair now and lines around his eyes. But he looked happy. As Earth's Foreign Relations Director, he traveled between colonies, building a new kind of community among the stars. "Any problems with the Conclave?" he asked. Grant shook her head. "They watch us from a distance, but they don't interfere." The Liberty Dawn had a new job now. Captain Rogers no longer carried cargo. Her ship was painted silver and blue with the Earth flag on its side. She traveled to worlds beyond Conclave space, the fringe worlds where other free species lived. "We've made friends out there," Rogers told Kelly when her ship docked at New Horizon. Her lucky blue cap was faded now, but she still wore it. "Species who either left the Conclave or never joined. They're interested in working with us." The conclave had said humans would fail without their help. They had warned of dangers and problems. Some troubles did come. A sickness on one colony, a storm that destroyed buildings on another. But each time, humans adapted and grew stronger. One morning, Kelly found a message waiting for him. It came from Ambassador Nira, his old Soth friend. "The conclave is changing because of you," she wrote. "Some of us have begun to question the old ways. Others are frightened by what this means. Be prepared for both allies and enemies from unexpected places." Kelly shared this news with Earth's leaders. In the 5 years since leaving the conclave, Earth had changed too. The countries had grown closer, working together to build their new colonies. Now they had formed the Solar Alliance, a new government for all humans among the stars. President Wilson, serving her last year in office, called Kelly to her office. Though older now, her eyes were still sharp and clear. "We need a statement of principles," she said. "Something to guide us as we grow." Together, they wrote the words that would shape humanity's future in space. "We will extend our hand in friendship to all we meet among the stars. We will respect differences and seek common ground. But we will never surrender our right to grow, to explore, to become more than we are today." As humans spread through space, other species watched, some with fear, some with hope. The conclave's perfect system was changing. Their control was slipping. Across the galaxy, other species began to look at their own chains. The Trillhawks, who had obeyed the conclave for 1,000 years, began to build ships without permission. The Voglin people reopened old science centers that the conclave had closed. One by one, others were standing up. Others were walking away from the table. The humans had shown it was possible. And nothing would ever be the same again. 10 years after humanity left the table, the conclave faced a crisis. Nearly a third of their member species had demanded new terms. Some had already left to join what humans now called the Free Alliance, a loose network of independent worlds. On the conclave's central station, Survex stood before the council, all 6 eyes glowing deep red with worry. "The human problem has grown beyond control," the High Arbitrator said. "Their influence spreads like a disease. They must be stopped." Tulpa, the Vorelian who had once warned Kelly, stood up. "I have studied their movements. They now have 23 colonies. Their ships travel freely through sectors we once controlled. And worse, they share technology we had kept contained for millennia." The council voted. For the first time in 10,000 years, the conclave would take direct action. They would crush humanity and make an example of them. A fleet of 3,000 conclave warships gathered in secret. Their plan was simple: destroy Earth's main colonies in a single attack, forcing the survivors back under conclave control. But Ambassador Nira heard about the plan. Though it meant betraying her people, she sent a warning to Kelly. "They are coming. 3,000 ships. 3 days." Kelly was on New Horizon when the message arrived. He immediately called Earth. "Activate the SHIELD network," he told President Jack Foster, who had replaced Wilson, "and send the signal to our allies." For 5 years, humanity had been preparing for this moment. Grant's team had built something the conclave couldn't imagine: a network of energy shields that could protect not just ships but entire planets. When the conclave fleet arrived at New Horizon, expecting an easy victory, they found the planet surrounded by a shimmering blue shield. Their weapons fired, but nothing broke through. Admiral Murphy, once colonel, now led Earth's defense fleet. His ships were fewer, only 500, but they were faster and more adaptable. They didn't follow the old, rigid battle plans the conclave had used for centuries. "Remember," Murphy told his captains, "we don't need to destroy them. We just need to show them they can't destroy us." The battle lasted 3 days. The conclave fleet hammered at human shields but couldn't break through. Human ships darted between enemy formations, confusing them, disrupting their perfect patterns. Then something unexpected happened. Ships from the fringe worlds arrived, hundreds of them from dozens of species. They fought alongside the humans, their captains sending the same message. We stand with the Free Alliance. Most surprising of all, nearly 200 conclave ships suddenly changed their signals. Led by a Sath cruiser, Mira's people, they turned against their own fleet. On the fourth day, Cervex called for a ceasefire. The conclave had never lost a battle before. They didn't even have protocols for surrender. 1 week later, Kelly sat at a new table. Across from him was Cervex, looking smaller somehow, less certain. Beside Kelly sat representatives from 28 species, some human colonies, some fringe worlds, some former conclave members. "We are prepared to discuss new terms," Cervex said stiffly. Kelly smiled. "This isn't about terms anymore. This is about a new beginning." He gestured to the allies beside him. "We don't want to control you, as you try to control us. We want something better. A true alliance where each species chooses its own path, but we face the universe together." From the back of the room, Nira stepped forward. "The old conclave is already falling apart. Half our members have called for a new system." She looked at Cervex. "The age of control is ending. We must adapt or fade away." Cervex was silent for a long moment. Then slowly, with what seemed like great effort, the High Arbitrator did something no leader of the conclave had ever done. Cervex sat down at the table the humans had built. "Perhaps," the alien said, "it is time we listen to new ideas." Across the galaxy, change swept like a wave. The species that had walked away from the table had built something new. Not a system of control, but a network of cooperation. Not a hierarchy, but a community. And the universe, watching with surprise, discovered that sometimes the greatest power comes not from those who demand obedience, but from those brave enough to walk away and build something better.